तेजस्विनावधेदमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः कपिलाय नमस्तस्मै येनाविद्यो दधौ जगतिमग्ने कारुण्यात् साङ्ख्यमये नोरिव विहिता प्रतरणाय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः The state of Jivan Mukti, where there is no karma really connected to Jivan Mukta, the body will remain with the previous samskaras. The samskaras are already in the stage that they are fructifying it. Therefore, the momentum will be continued. The samskara sheshat. So ultimately, when body is released, the Jivan Mukta will attain Videha Mukti. So the only difference between Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti is Jivan Mukti is with body when soul is still inhabited in body, and Videha Mukti is after the separation of physical body. So Vikataha Dekaha, so that's called Videha. So Videhasya Mukti, Videha Mukti. Now that part is completed. So the next Karika, here Ishvara Krshna is mentioning in due respect to the previous acharyas of the system. So it is starting from Maharshi Kapila, and then the lineage comes to Ishvara Krishna, and in between there are so many rishis, sadhakas. Many names are famous, but there are others we don't know, because a long list of all these rishis. So in 69th Karika, he is bringing mentioning the origin of Sankhya to inspire us, the students, the new students, and we will have faith, and we will try to follow what is said if we have faith. So once we know the teachings are traditional, it is coming from our long heritage of Rishi Parampara, then automatically we will be inspired and try to follow whatever it is said. So therefore, it's mentioned to show the due respect and what we say is surrendering to the teachings of Parampara. पुरुषार्थज्ञानमिदं गुह्यं परमर्षिणा समाख्यातम् स्थित्युत्पत्ति प्रलयाश्चिन्त्यन्ते यत्र भूतानां पुरुषार्थ ज्ञानम idam guhyam. So this is the knowledge of purushartha, the knowledge related to purushartha. So it helps to accomplish purushartha, the purushartha jnanam. So we have two kinds of purusharthas. Enjoyments as called bhoga and liberation as apavarga. So bhoga and apavarga are the two purusharthas. The enjoyment includes all other dharma, artha, kama, all others included there. So purushartha jnanam idam guhyam. It is very secret. Why? Because it cannot be known. It is not very famous. Only the people who are interested in deeper level of philosophy, they study this Sankhya and they know the secret of this. So therefore it is guhyam. It is not openly given. Paramarshina samakhyatam. So it is the great Rishi, Paramarishi, the great Rishis here, namely Maharshi Kapila. So he said it, Samakhyadam. So he expounded it thoroughly, the Samakhyadam, Samyak Akhyadam, with all the details. Whatever we need to know about it. So he has completely established it. So Paramarshina Samakhyadam idam jnanam guhyam. Now what are the subject matters? So mainly in this we have discussed sthiti utpatti pralayaha stintyante yatra bhutana. So we have discussed the creation of the elements, bhutanam utpatti. So here the bhuta is living beings or as well as non-living beings. All the manifestations of bhutas. So that is called bhutanam. Sthiti, utpatti and pralaya. The creation and sthiti means permanence, now the present, the life of the Bhutas, and then the end, pralaya, dissolution, the merging back. So this is what we discussed. Sthiti utpatti pralayaha chindyante yatra bhutanam. Yatra means wherein this Sankhya Shastra. So we have discussed all this. So mainly the creation of the bhutas. That is important, because if you know the creation and sources of the bhutas, the creation, then other things can be understood, because that is main. After that existence, after creation there is existence. So existence we are already experiencing. And then what would happen to these bhutas in future? So the end of the bhutas, end of the creation. So that also discussed. So he summarized and concluded his statement. The next Karika, again continuing with this, the tradition of Sankhya system. Edat pavitram munirasurayenu pradadau. आसुरिरपि पञ्चशिखाय तेन च बहुधा कृतं तन्द्रम् So this is how we remember the tradition. So edat pavitram agryam. So this knowledge, purushartha jnanam. So this knowledge of Sankhya system is pavitram, it is purifying, because it will purify all our sins, all our papas, errors, bad karmas, confusions, so all what we experience, so that everything will be purified. So therefore it is pavitram, purifying. Agryam, it is in order, if you see, it is the principal one, agryam, the first one. So which stands in front is called agryam. So agre bhavam agram, the foremost, we can say, or which leads everything. The leader is called agresara. So who leads the system, or who leads leads people, or like that. Like Senapati, the commander of the army, is called agresara. So similarly, this Sankhya system is also agryam. Why? Because all other systems, system of philosophies, they took something from Sankhya. Therefore, they all respect Sankhya philosophy. You can say the principal philosophy of all those. In philosophical system, not in Vedas. So Vedas is totally different. But when we say as a system of philosophy, it is agryam. Therefore, without learning Sankhya Karika, normally in our tradition, they don't teach any other darshanas. It was there. When we came, it was there. Without Sankhya Karika, first Vyakaranam, then Nyaya Shastra, basic of Nyaya Shastra and Vaisheshika, that is Tarka Sangraham, then Artha Sangraham, Sankhya Karika, then if you want to, it's the third time now. So you want to follow the other systems, like yoga philosophy, Vedanta, and like that. So you have to study all this. Then you can follow that. So yedat pavitram agryam munirasuraye anugambaya dadau. The Muni Kapila, he, by compassion, because why Kapila gave this secret knowledge to his direct disciple Asuri. So his first disciple is called Asuri. So he gave it to Asuraye. There is a story you can find in Mahabharata, in other Puranas, this story is there. In Mahabharata Shanti Parva, it is mentioned, all this tradition is mentioned. Mahabharata Shanti Parva, chapter 121, you want to refer. So Munira Asuraye, there are so many stories of Asuri, because Asuri is very famous in Mahabharata. So Munira Asuraye Anukambaya Pradadau, he gave with compassion, so much compassion. Normally all the sages and saints, they will be compassionate, because their basic nature is compassionate. So with compassion they give. The Guru give knowledge to Shishyas with compassion. Therefore it is said Anukambaya Pradatau. he imparted his knowledge with anukampa, with compassion. Asuri Rapi, then Asuri after that, because this is a tradition, you have to give knowledge. When you got from a guru, after taking it, so the one should impart knowledge to others. This is a part of that learning. So you cannot keep all the knowledge and live with that. No. So when you got it, so once it is confirmed how the guru will say, now you are ready to teach. So guru will give the adesha. Then the shishya can teach. That is the tradition. Now instead of giving order or direction, they give a certificate. After taking the course certificate will be given. This means you are certified that you learned it. Now with that certificate you can teach others. That is how it is. Now there is no need for direct advice from guru. Because they gave money, pay fees and then learn. So they have some, they don't take vidya, knowledge as a knowledge. They take as to say like a wealth. So we have purchased knowledge. So now we are like purchasing knowledge. And with that, the ashrams, they do business. So they give knowledge. No, they say teaching is there. Actually, now what is happening, I don't think it is teaching. It is a given and taken connections. So therefore that is different. It is not with anukampa. So Asuri Ravi Panchashikaya. So Asuri, the Rishi Asuri, again imparted this knowledge to Panchashikhacharya. He was very famous, Panchashikhacharya. He is the one who really established and did a extensive propagation of Sankhya system. So his name is very respectfully taken, the Panchashikhacharya. So he is the one who wrote this Shashti Tantra. So now we have this Shashti Tantra. We will see the last Karika. So the Shashti Tantra is believed to be his work. The author of Shashti Tantra is Panchashikhacharya. So Panchashikhaya. So Asuri is Panchashikhaya. He is the third one. First Kapila, then Asuri, then Panchashikha. Then there is a long list. Or Vasishta and all other rishis are there. There is a long list. So tomorrow I will give that list. We have in some other commentaries, there is a list given for many names, just to know who are they. So Asuri Rapi Panchashikhaya. Tenacha Bahudha Kritam Tantra. You see, he himself, Ishvara Krshna himself says. So Tenacha Panchashikhena Bahudha Kritam Tantra. He has extensively propagated, elaborated in many ways. So therefore he has written this Shashti Tantra, the book called Shashti Tantra. So in that same Mahabharata chapter, there is one sloka in praise of Panchashikha. The sloka says, Asure Prathamam Shishyam Yamahur Chirajivinam. So Asur is the first disciple who is famous that he had a long life. Panjasrodasi Nishnadaha Panjaratra Visharadaha Panjajna Panjakrit Panjaguna Panjashikha Smrita. So everything Panja is added, but we don't know actually in what sense it is said. So he dipped into 5 srotas, in 5 tirthas. That is what it says. And he knows all the 5 ratras. The 5 ratra means Pancharatra. There is a philosophy called Pancharatra Siddhanta. So he has learned that. He is very well versed in Panchashikha, Panchavisharaka. And Panjajnaha. And he knows some 5 commands. Some secret of 5 things. So we don't know what it is. And Panchakrit. and he made 5 parts. That also we don't know what he made all these 5. So Panja Gunaha, and he had 5 special qualities, extraordinary powers. So he is called Panchashikha. So Shikha, he had Shikha means he had a special quality. Shikha is for a special quality. This said, it's not because it's Shikha. Shikha means it is a title given. So Panchashikha. So he had 5 special qualities. So that way he is praised. Now, if you want to know what these are, they have to see the Nilakanta commentary of Mahabharata. There it is, the translation will be there. So this way, this Panchashika Acharya is very famous, and Tena Bahudha Kritam Tantram. So he established this system. Tantra means here it is system. Now this word is Tantra is very much misinterpreted. No, the Tantra, people don't know what is Tantra means. So Tantra means here the Siddhanta, it's a system, is called Tantra. Tandryade Vitpadyade iti Tantra. In Sanskrit there is a root Tantra, the root Tantra. Out of that it comes. Now Lut Pratyaya, when we add Lut suffix into this, the Tantram is made. Tandryade Vitpadyade, where the system or philosophy or any siddhanta, any theory is established. So that is called Tantra. So Tantra means established theory, established philosophy, or even we can say established sadhana. So is also called Tantra. So this name of the test is also called Shashti Tantram. So this is the tradition. Now it's okay. Now Asuri got from Kapila Rishi, and Panchashikha received this knowledge from Asuri. That's okay. Now what about you? You are the author of this test. Now how you got? So now he is mentioning that. The boy continues. शिष्य परंपरयागदमीश्वर कृष्णेन सचेददार्याभिः संक्षिप्तमार्यमतिना सम्यग् विज्ञाय सिद्धान्तम् शिष्य परंपरया आगतम् ईश्वर कृष्णेन सच एतदार्याभिः संक्षिप्तम्. So Ishvara Krishna, the author of this Sankhya Karika, got this from Guru Shishya Parampara, the master disciple tradition. So Shishya Paramparaya. So there are so many Shishyas. After Panchashikha, there are so many. After that he got it. So he is not mentioning his Guru, but he said he got it from Guru. Shishya Paramparaya. Actually, this 71 and 72 sloka, in some edition, there is one more sloka, 73. So in Mathara's Sanskrit commentary, he has added one more sloka as a 73rd sloka. But here we can say this up to 70 is the work of Ishvara Krishna, because he stops there, and the last sloka, he or whatever, maybe his Shishyas who made the 2 other slokas, they are giving the name of the test as Saptati. Saptati means with 70 slokas. So therefore, the people say, the thinkers say, it can be others, the 71 and 72, because it is mentioned, the name is mentioned here, Ishvara Krishna. And this person who wrote it, 71 and 72, he has no idea of Ishvara Krishna's guru. Therefore, he has not mentioned the name. Shishya Paramparaya. If Ishvara Krishna himself writes, suppose we think he himself wrote, then he must he will from his respect or that bhava, he would have wrote his guru's name there. So this is one reason. There are so many other reasons they say, because people do some research on this. So therefore, this name is mentioned, Ishvara Krishna. So Shishya Paramparaya Agadam Ishvara Krishnena Sacha Edad Aryabhi. So this Arya is called the meter of this shlokas. The metrical verse is called Arya. The name of the meter is called Arya. We will know from the first shloka. It's called Arya Chanta. So Shishya Paramparaya Ishvara Krishnena Sacha Edad Aryabhi. By this Arya meter, Ishvara Krishna had Sankhiptam, summarized the whole of Shashti Tantra. So we will see what are the subjects in Shashti Tantra. There is 16 topics. So he has summarized all those. So Sankhiptam. Aryamatina Samyak Vijnaya Siddhantam. So Aryamati means he has learned this very well. He is very thoroughly learned the Siddhanta, the theory of doctrine of Sankhya. Then he wrote it. Therefore, whatever is here, we can believe it that this all is traditionally proved. Nothing other than Sankhya proves. Sankhiptam Aryamatina. So Aryamati is because with respect we even call somebody as Arya. So Arya means with respect, Sir, like we have called Sir. So the Sir is Arya. So Sankhiptam Aryamatina Samyak Vijnaya Siddhantam. Samyak means thoroughly understanding, clearly understanding. Then only you can summarize. If you want to summarize something, you have to study the whole text and understand well. Then only one can summarize. So he has done it, and we can see he has not missed any important point. And the next Karika will mention that how he summarized. So now Shashti Tantra is a large book, it's a big book. So how he summarized, what technique he used. So that will be mentioned in the sloka. So Samyak Vijnaya Siddhantam. So Siddhanta means the end is established. That is what the word meaning. It means the doctrine which we study, the theory which we study is completely established with all its facts, all its truths. Then it is called Siddhanta. Not only that, when we say Siddhanta, in this theory, what has been established has no opposition, or the opposition, whatever the opposite views were there, those all views were answered. So there is no objection on this Siddhanta. The objections were answered, clear. So that is called Siddhanta. So before making a doctrine in those days, this was the rule. If you want to make a new textbook or anything like that, even a literature, a poetry or something like that, a drama or whatever, there were rules. You have to follow all those rules. Then only that book is allowed to publish or given to public. So there was a rule. Now also there are rules, but nobody is following that. Now people take freedom of expression, freedom of writing. So they will write something. All media talk about this freedom of expression. So something very unfortunate, because they have no responsibility what they are saying and what they are giving to the people, public. So in those days the rule was there. So if you don't follow, you cannot publish, and the king will destroy the work. He will not accept that. Therefore, it was necessary to prove your doctrine. Like nowadays, when we do PhD, we have to prove that like that. So similarly, it was there. Therefore, it is called Siddhanta. So as a Siddhanta, Sankhya is established. It means all the objection against Sankhya philosophy is cleared and answered. You can find some answer in this. So the doctrine of Sankhya. Now the 72 Karika. Saptatya kila ye arthaste artha Krtsnasya shashti tantrasya. Saptatya kila ye arthaste artha Krtsnasya shashti tantrasya. Akhyayika virahita paravada vivartitaschapi. Actually, Ishvara Krshna summarized Sankhya philosophy with this 70 Karikas for the benefit of students, the beginners, the learners of Sankhya. He has not written for the high level philosophers. So therefore it is called Prakarana. So it is a summary of philosophy. So after this, the student can learn advanced textbooks of Sankhya, Sutras and other books. So Saptatya kila ye arthaha te artha Krtsnasya shashti tantrasya. So whatever there in Shashti Tantra, so all that Krtsnasya, that the completely whatever there in the Shashti Tantra, all that topics, arthaha, saptatya kila. So he has summarized in this 70 Karikas. So saptati, can you say that the 70 Karika is the last Karika? Seems saptati kila yartha. Now in Sanskrit, the numbers can be the name of the test also. In Sanskrit we have this system. No, the test is named with the numbers, or the shlokas or the meters on the test. Like we have Ashtakam. Ashtakam means 8 shlokas will be there. That is the name of the test. Sometimes there will be 9 or 10. Then also it is called Ashtaka. So that option is there. Because the Ashtaka doesn't mean only 8. It is a name of the test. It can be one more. It is allowed. Like in Sahasranama. It is Sahasranama, it is said is Sahasranama. But there is 1008 at least. So 8 is added there. But it is called Sahasranama. Similarly in Shataka, most of the Shataka has 101, 102 like that. but it is called Shatasa. So there is 2-3 sutras in Panini, because in Sanskrit we have all with making with the rules. So now this Saptati is a name of a book. It seems Ishvara Krishna named this book as Sankhya Saptati. It is not like Sankhya Karika. Now we have taken the name of the meter or the sloka Karika, but actually it was Sankhya Saptati. So then what is the benefit is, this name will convey how many slokas it has. No, it is communicating the number of the slokas in that. So it is good to communicate in what? Like we have Panchadashi. So Panchadashi has 15 chapters. So it's named after the number Panchadashi. But in no other language it is possible. Like in English you cannot say 15, a name of the book. No, it cannot be. Sometimes they make cinemas like that, but naming is not possible. So Saptati. Saptati is the name of it. So there is one sutra which says in Panini Sutra 5.159. It is interesting. Sankhyayaha samnya sangha sutra adhyaneshu tadasya parinama. एक सूत्र आता है तदस्य परिणाम. So the sutra says the shlokas or whatever the amount of the book is calculated by shlokas or by verses like that. So then you can put the name for the book. So in that there is sutra, it says Pankti Vimshadi Trimshat Chatvarimshat Panjasat Shashti Saptati Ashiti Navati Shatam. So these are the separate names. So Pankti Vimshati, so like we have Chando Vimshati, one textbook is called Chando Vimshati. It's a text for meters. So it has 20 shlokas. And Trimshat means 30 shlokas. Chatvarimshat means 40 slokas. So Panchashat 50 slokas. Shashti 60 slokas. And Saptati, this is 70 slokas. Ashiti, you just say Ashiti. Ashiti has two meanings. 80 and the book with 80 slokas. It's also called Ashiti. So Navati and Shatam, 90 and 100. Similarly, Sahasram goes like that. So therefore, people say this Saptadi is the name of the book. So Saptadi kila e arthaha ste arthaha Krishnasya Shashti Tantrasya. Now, how you summarized, what technique you used for summarizing, then asked to Ishvara Krishna, he is answering. I summarized this way. Akhyayika virahitaha. So there were so many stories, examples in Shashti Tantra. So I have omitted all those stories. That is how I summarized it. So Akhyayika means small stories. Like we say, for instance, for illustration, we give some examples and some small stories. That I have omitted all those stories. I have not taken those. So you can see stories are not there. Only 2-3 examples, like cow milk, and then comes that dancer and all those. Only 2-3 examples. Otherwise, nothing is added. And Paravada Vivarjidas Chapi. In Shashti Tantra, following the rules of the philosophy, there were so many discussions or debates on opposite views. The Paravata, the opposite doctrines. Like Vedanta, maybe in other doctrines, other than Sankhya. So these debates were there in Shashti Tantra. So those also I omitted. Paravada Vivarchita. Because you can see, there is no opposite, nobody asking any question and answering, nothing is there. So paravada vivarjidascha. Without those opposite doctrines, I have summarized only the subject matter. So whatever were there, subject matter. So this is how I summarized this treatise as a small textbook. Now, for our understanding, we can see what were the topics in Shashti Tantra. So there were 60 topics discussed in Shashti Tantra. So we have a Vartikam called Rajavartikam. Rajavartikam is a work on Sankhya and Yoga philosophy. It must be written by Raja Bhoja from your Bhopal. Raja Bhoja was a very scholar. He has wrote many books on this. So he wrote one commentary on Yoga Sutra. His commentary is very famous. He has quoted many things. So he summarized it. He might got somewhere the old text or from some textbook he summarized it. So Rajavartikam, in that he has given these slokas. I will just chant the slokas and then we will see the topics, subject matter in that. Pradhanastitvam egatvam arthavatvam adhanyata pararthyam cha tadhanaikyam viyogo yoga evacha Sheshavrittirakartritvam maulikartha desha viparyaya panchavidhastadhoktanavatustayah karananama samarthyam ashtavimshadidha smritam idi shashti padarthanam ashtabhissaha siddhibhihi. So this way all this shashti padartha, the 16 topics have come. So similar shloka we can find in Ahir Buddhni Samhita. There is one text called Ahir Buddhni Samhita. This is the resource of Pancharatra school of philosophy. That one Dvaita school of philosophy is called Pancharatra. The Madhvacharya and all those follow this. Pancharatra philosophy of Ahir Buddhni Samhita is very famous in them. So in that chapter 12 mentions this sloka. The similar sloka is all the topics are mentioned. But some differences are there in subject, but it is mentioned there, 60 topics. Now we follow this Rajavartikam of Raja Bhoja. So what it is said is here, the first one, Pradhanastitvam, the first subject discussed in Shashti Tantra. The existence of Pradhana Prakriti. So that we have discussed in Karika 14. We have reference for that. And the second topic is Prakriti's oneness. Prakriti is single, Prakriti is one. So that is also mentioned in Karika 15. We have seen it. And Prakriti, Pradhana's objectivity. The object is Pradhana, subject is Purusha. So this way, the objectivity or Vishayatvam of the Pradhana, that has been discussed in 11th Karika. And now, the fourth point, difference from the Purusha. The Prakriti is difference from the Purusha, the two different characters. This is also discussed in 11th Karika. And the fifth point is the servants of Prakriti to Purusha. Because Prakriti gives everything to Purusha. That is what it said. That enjoyment and liberation and all those, the Purushartha. So that is discussed in as a fifth point there. But here we have discussed on 17th Karika. 1-7. Then the manifoldness or plurality of Purusha. That came in on 18th Karika. That is one main points of Sankhya. Now separation of Prakriti and Purusha. That is also very famous. So that is discussed in 20th Karika. And the eighth point is conjunction of Prakriti and Purusha. The conjunction of Prakriti and Purusha we call as reflection. That has been discussed in 21st Karika. 21st Karika. 20 and 21st. And the next point is continuance of embodiment. It means rebirth of Linga Sharira and the activity and attachment towards it. This is called samsara. And Purusha, Purusha continues to take the birth, but Purusha has no attachment to all this body. So that is discussed in 19th Karika, the characteristics of Purusha. The next point, 10th point, is non-activity of Purusha. That also discussed in 19th Karika. So 19th Karika we got all these points. So these 10 points, starting from the existence of Pradhana to non-activity of the Purusha, this is called 10 principal topic of Sankhya. In this basis, we can understand what is the Sankhya philosophy. So this has been discussed there. Then comes the manifestations. We have elaborately discussed the points or 5 kinds of ignorance on 47th Karika and 9 kinds of tushtis in 15th Karika and 28 types of incapacity, ashaktaya, that we discussed on 49th Karika. In 20 types of incapacity, 28 types of capacity. 49th Karika. Then comes 8 types of attainment, siddhis, that we discussed in 51. So this way, if you calculate all this, we will get 50 altogether. The manifestation of intellect, the ignorance and the tushti, ashakti and all those. So 50 plus 10, 60. These are the 60 subjects discussed in Shashti Tantra. So this way, we have completed this Sankhya Karika. But I just mentioned the one extra sloka is there, the last sloka 73. So I just read. It has nothing special, only the conclusion sloka. Tasmat samasa drishtam shastramidam narthadascha parihinam tandrasya ja brihadmurter darpana sankrandamiva bimbam. This is the sloka Mathara quotes and he comment on this sloka. No other Sanskrit commentary has mentioned this sloka. As 73. So it is a summary. It says the same thing. Ishvara Krshna has summarized all what has been said in the Shashti Tantra, the main philosophy, and he made a good philosophical textbook for the use of for the benefit of the students, like a image reflected in a mirror. So we have a mirror, darpana. So he just reflected all Sankhya philosophy in this Karikas. That is what it says. So that way it concludes. Om Purnamata पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति।